Hi you guys, it's Amy Gretchen. Welcome back to another Project Live process video. This video I'm working on week 24 from 2017. So the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do, and I do this every week, is just go ahead and lay out my photos and put them where I want them to go. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim up my 3x4 photos and also some 3x3 photos. You can see that some of those photos have borders and some of them do not. If you're interested to see how I create those 4x6 photos, you can check out my video in the description box below that shows you how I create that in Photoshop and also in Lightroom. I think it's so much easier in Lightroom, but I go ahead and I show you how I use both Lightroom and Photoshop to do that. Definitely Lightroom is my favorite because I think it's a lot easier, but you can check that out below if you are interested. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm choosing the card that I want to use. I believe I'm using cards from Studio Calico's June kit, and I can't remember if I did that on week 23 or not. That's been a while now, but I'm definitely looking through those cards to use them. I think maybe I haven't used these cards yet, but I feel like there's just a handful of really cute cards in this one. I know they're the days of the week, and I keep trying to figure out how I could use some of those in a spread as well. So I'm just picking out some of the ones that I really like and putting them in place. You can see I only have, like, after all the photos I used, I only have a spot for looks like for 3 journaling cards. So the other thing that I'm using from the kit as well, these are little, I don't know if I should call these die cuts or whatever, but they're rip out little embellishments. You know, they're pieces of paper. I'm going to call them die cuts. You're ripping them out of a pack. And I noticed when I was looking through them to see kind of, what designs were included, that it had 1 through 6. So there's actually 6. I decided to do 5 instead of 6, just so there wouldn't be one photo without one, and I was totally fine with that. I guess I could have used, there were some things, like you saw that one said happy. There were some other things were the same shape. I could have, easily done that, but I just went ahead and just stuck with the numbers, and I like how that turned out. And you'll see how I really did that so I could write some journaling, and you'll see in the end, I believe, actually, if I remember correctly, I think that part gets cut off. You will be able to see the card at any rate and how I'm, using those numbers. So I'm just trying to decide really how I want to get those numbers to go. I don't want the numbers to be next to each other or on top of each other. So that's why I was kind of moving them around. I also had them floating on the photo, and I really wanted them to be touching the edge. So, I just went ahead and just was moving those around, but I have not adhered those yet. The other thing that I was looking at doing is maybe putting a little embellishment on there, and I took it off, and actually after, watching this video, I think I wish I had added just a little bit something. I think it would have just been a little bit something more to bring all those numbers together, but I didn't do it, and I definitely won't go back and do that, but just something to remind myself for the future that maybe that would help it feel a little bit more cohesive, because they are different colors. Not that they don't, but I think you know what I mean. So I just went ahead and added the date stamp to that card. Like I said, that card also came from the June Studio Calico kit. So now I'm going to do what I always do with my 3x4 cards. So I'm just cutting, I think these end up being 2x3 pieces of cardstock, and I'm just adding the adhesive to the back of the photo, adding it to the cardstock, and then I'm going to actually cut it down, to make sure that all the sides are even, but cut it down to 4 inches. I found that to be the easiest way than trying to, cut a piece of white cardstock that would be like perfect underneath that photo. So that just happens to work out the best for me. So that's what I do every time. I feel like now that I have found something that works, I just continue to do it. So this time I'm doing everything all at once instead of just doing one card at a time. I thought I would do all the dates and then all the journaling all at the same time. It seemed to go a little bit faster that way. So while I'm putting the dates on, I was trying to figure out exactly like that photo of my daughter with her friend. They were gone over the week into the next week. So I wanted to write that date in, even though it wasn't actually during the week of this Project Life spread. That was not a big deal to me. And then with some of the other cards, I just want to make sure that I had the exact date. If I get those wrong, it's not that big of a deal knowing that it falls within the week, but I just wanted to make sure. So I was just checking my phone to see when I actually took that picture. So then I'm just doing a little bit of journaling on all of these cards, just a little something to tell a little bit more of the story for these photos. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stick them into the pockets. I think I know where they're going to go. I think that one right there that I'm trying to fit in was just a little too small. And so I just needed to cut a little bit more off of that. I love that trimmer for that reason, that you can cut the smallest little sliver off and cut straight and perfect every time. So I love that about that tonic guillotine cutter. All right, so now I'm going to adhere the numbers on. I'm just adding a little bit of adhesive and then just going to add it right to the photo. I believe, and I don't know if I do this right away or if I do this towards the end, add some staples onto those. Like I said, I had, for whatever reason, and I'm sure it's going to come up, coming up here in just a minute because I'm working on the card that's going to deal with the photos, but my camera cuts off about right now. And what happened is it stopped and I was playing music. I had headphones on and I didn't realize my camera stopped. Normally I can hear it shut off. And so I didn't know it wasn't going. And then somehow, I don't even know how I figured it out, that it wasn't recording. And so I jumped back on, but I do miss putting this card together. So I apologize for that, but you will kind of see the beginnings of it. So I'm using Allie Edwards' prompt. It was her first stamp set that she ever did for her stamp story stamps. And I love this. I really do love the prompt of all of the stamps, I think, or the stamp sets that she's done. I think this is one of my favorites. So I stamped this Love This, which I love. And because I wanted to do 5 journaling pieces, I realized that it was just a little too big. So then I took the Loving stamp that was also in that stamp set and I just stamped it up at the top. So it was just a little bit smaller. It was going to give me more room to do journaling. And like I said, you're not going to see this, but I ended up using these outline stamps. They were small number outline stamps from Kelly Perky to do the numbers and then to do a little bit of journaling. So you're going to see me right now. What I'm trying to do is I'm looking for numbers that I can use. So I'm going through some of my stickers right now. And I end up not finding some stickers that I want to use. It's either not the right color or not the right size, or I didn't have enough of the numbers. So that's why I decided to go with the stamps. I also wanted to show you, this is one of the ways that I am organizing some of my stickers or some of my embellishments that are coming from the Studio Calico kits. Anyways, I will go on and tell you about that card that you're going to miss, but I end up just stamping the numbers and then I'm going to write a little bit of journaling. So you can see that card right there in the middle. And so the numbers were big enough where then I was able to write 2 or 3 lines of journaling next to it. So I thought that that was awesome that I was able to get as much of the story in as possible. So that's how I was able to tell stories about those 4x6 photos. So hopefully that all makes sense. And again, I apologize for missing that. That's just one of those things that I just need to be better about paying attention to. When I get in a groove though, sometimes I like space it because I just am in that mode of trying to get the spread done. And the other thing that you missed there then is the other journaling card there. I did a little bit of journaling on there as well and then added a date stamp onto the side so you can see that. And then the last thing that I went ahead and did is I stamped You Got This. That came from one of Allie Edwards' stamp set. And then I just put that right on the card. So I thought that that rounded out this week. Anyway, you guys, I am done with this spread. It was definitely quick. Really happy about the stories I was able to tell, and just as always, really happy about getting them down on paper. So thanks so much for being here, and we will catch you in the next video. Bye.